Hey people, Scott again with the Luzabago. Me and good old Brownie Bear here. Don't worry about it, Faze. Off camera, taking care of household stuff.
Hello.
So I'm just trying to stay up out of her way. So, quick update. Been out and about today, all day, taking care of some business. Um, Trying to hold this camera. Sorry for the wobble cam. My hand's not all perfectly steady. Um, Picked up the third brake light to go up above the back door. Got that taken care of. Went and met up with a buddy of mine, and we went and got some work taken care of. So I came up with the money for DMV and for the light and for a few other things. So that mountain's not so high to climb right now. Actually, it looks like we're going to be set just to be able to get everything done. It's going to take us a few more days because I've got, at this point, we've got all the tail lights and everything that it's going to take to get through DMV. I still got to install them all. So I'm going to have to drill out a good part of the house back there. I mean, we got some good suggestions from some of our subscribers. First off, to Mike T, thanks, brother. You're all right. I'm not going to follow every suggestion you gave me, but that's only because, it's easier for me to drill right through the wood back here than trying to take that tarp off, especially right now. That tarp is kind of hard and frozen. Not solid frozen. It's just trying to move it around when it's that cold makes that rubberized tarp kind of brittle. If it was summertime, it'd be real pliable, real flexible. I'd be able to just fold it back and just run the line right down the top of the house. But I'm gonna go a little bit more permanent install. Just because it's easier for me right now. I don't have to mess with the tarp. I don't have to mess with any of those straps. I don't have to even mess with the Christmas lights. So I'm just going to drill right through our door frame because I gotta run the wires up to the back set of lights anyway, which are gonna feed right into the house. In fact, I might be able to show you that as long as I don't get in her way. Am I going to get in your way?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. Hey, everybody, come with me for a minute. Let me try to get some lights over into that corner. All right.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Here. Why can't I, change the direction of the camera
I don't know.
when I'm like this?
You going this way?
The old camera would do it.
Oh no. Are you going this way?
I'm trying to. Here is that back corner. Now, hopefully you guys can see this little area down here. I'm going to have to pull this stuff out, but what it is just the real cheap foam. And I can pop that out, no big deal. And that's the area that the backlights are going to go into. So the wires are going to come out right there anyway. And I can just run the wire right up the side back here and keep it good and hidden going up along that frame. And then right about here up there, I'm going to pop through with the wire for the third light. And I don't know if you can see it, but I've started drawing some of the vine for the for burning in my trim, which will match that trim work. Yeah, there's some lights on that. So, instead of running the wires up along the top of the house, I'm just gonna jump right through there. Where my wire harness is, it's like run right across the back bumper, and I've got a perfect spot right in the corner to be able to come up into the house with it. Oh, don't forget Brownie Bear. Alright, so it's the same place where our extension cords come into the house. So I'm just going to bring it in right there. Makes it nice and easy. I don't have to drill anything. I just have a little like piece of foam that goes down in there, plugs up the air gap. I keep looking at Faye every now and then, make sure she's not going to get me with an elbow. I should be pretty safe though if she's not sleeping. Yeah, I've got one of those. Faye throws knees and elbows all night long. She's that kind of sleeper. She's not even arguing. She's over there just like... But yeah. So I got everything I need to do the lights with. I just need to grab some wire for it. And maybe some little shrink wrap. You know, little connectors. That kind of stuff. But I'm going to wait until my buddy's ready to help me out with that. Because I'm colorblind. And I'm not really sure where all of my my electrical testers and all that kind of stuff are. So, he on the other hand, he deals with wires all the time. So he knows where his wire cutters are, his strippers, his connectors, and all of that stuff. So, yeah, I'm just going to let him, you know, help me out with that. Because that just makes my life so much easier. And right now, I will definitely take a little bit of easy. Drums, the drum brakes, that's all on me though. And that's fine. I mean, one of the things I hate most about working on a car is dealing with drum brakes. I just don't like them. They were pretty much antiquated back in 1960. So, I mean, disc brakes have been around since like the late 50s. They didn't like using them. Not sure why, other than it would cost them a little bit more. But, like, yeah, they just wanted to make more money off people. You know, they can charge you more for drum brakes than they can for disc brakes. And that's mostly when it comes to the repairs. And GM has pretty much based a majority of their business off of the repairs and maintenance of the vehicles. So it's pretty much why they design everything the way they do. I mean, if you look at a Cadillac, the North Star motor, if you're going to try to change out like the starter on a North Star motor, half that motor has to come out to get to that thing. They know darn well most people can't take care of that themselves. Could they have put it somewhere where you could get to it? Absolutely. Did they intentionally put it somewhere where you're going to end up just taking it to a shop and going, like, I'm not doing this in my driveway. Are you crazy? You know, one of the most, guaranteed you're going to have to replace parts. You're going to have to come back to the dealer. I'm going to get you. Like, that's what engineers do at a freaking car company. Like, that's why I like older cars. You know, a lot of the older cars didn't have all of that going on. They had quite a bit of it, but not as much as they do now. Which is pretty much why a lot of the little rice burner cars have become so fashionable with the younger kids. Because the parts are smaller, they're a little easier to work on. You know, even if they do have to pull something out, they're not pulling out a big old, like, 400-pound motor. You know, it's easier for one guy to deal with. Even if they are smaller and more compact. You know, you can get away with doing a lot more of it without having so many specialty tools and so many lifts and everything else. Me, on the other hand, like, I don't so much mind. Like, I'm going to save that buck everywhere I can. Like, I'm not taking nothing to a shop unless I have to. Like, when it came to the brake lines, I only took it to a shop just to make sure that I was seeing things right. Like, it's like, yo, take a look at this thing. Tell me I'm not crazy. Does any of that make sense? And they were like, I don't know what's going on there. I was like, okay. All right, I needed somebody else to take a look at that and also say, damn. So, that's when I decided I was just gonna, like, bend all new lines myself and just redo the whole thing. I mean, anything worth doing is worth doing. Doesn't matter if it's going to be hard. Of course it's going to be hard, you know. Of course it's going to be a pain in the butt to some extent. But usually most of what that is your own little noodle up here going, I don't want to do that. It sounds like it's going to be a pain in my butt. And I don't want it to be a pain in my butt. You just got to shrug that off and just say, you know what? It can't be that bad. you know? I mean, as you're taking something apart, pay attention. Look at where everything goes. Take a lot of pictures, you know? And when it comes to something that you're not quite sure of, take several pictures. Don't just get one from one angle. Make sure you get like this side, it's straight on, and from this side, one from up top, one from down under. Then when you're putting it back together, you got multiple angles to look at it from. Go, oh, that's where it is. All right, I see it. All right. As long as you do that, you'll be all right. No matter how goofy it gets, you'll be all right. Now, sometimes that doesn't quite work. I ran into that doing the water pump up front. There's a pair of bolts that are just tucked in, like up in there underneath of the water pump itself. It hides them completely. You can't see them. All you can do is like reach down up underneath of there. You gotta get your arm down there so far that your head's all looking off in a different direction, and you just gotta feel around for them. But, you know, looking at the new water pump, kind of holding it upright, going, okay, I know that one's about here and one's going to be here. So when you reach down there, you kind of got a halfway decent idea of where they're going to be. You just got to find them. Then when you find them, you got to figure out how to get a socket onto there without being able to see it. But I'm used to that, you know. Been working on stuff since I was 5 years old. And I'm serious, since I was 5 years old. At the latest. Because first time I got pulled over, I was 6. That's a fun little story. I had found this go-kart frame up the street from me. Bought it for $20. And I used all of my friggin' birthday money getting it. Went down the road to the lawnmower repair guy, and he let me do a little cleanup and a little this and that. And he was kind of like a cool old guy. His name was Bill. And I've got this motor that I found in the garbage. I pulled off of like a paint sprayer. And it was a perfect little Tecumseh 5 horsepower motor. And Bill happened to have a little clutch to go onto the drive shaft of that, which made it adapt perfectly to the go-kart. So now I had a go-kart and I had a motor on there and I had a clutch on there. Bill helped me out with. Then I went around in his junk pile. I must have gone through that junk pile for like 2-3 weeks and straightening stuff up, cleaning it up for him, mainly looking for parts for my go-kart. But I was doing work for him, you know. Got a little pile of parts that I had off on the side, you know. And he knew what I was doing, you know. He'd sit there and look at me every now and then and be like, "What are those doing over there?" He knew darn well. That's the whole reason he let me even like clean up that pile in the first place, you know. So I got all the work done after a few weeks, and Bill was cool. He was like a gruff old cooter, you know, always giving you crap. But then he'd kind of look at you with that little like twinkle in his eye and kind of give you a little like half smile, like, and you know he was kind of screwing with you. So after I got a whole bunch of work done for him, he just kind of like looked at the pile, looked at me. He was like, "Get your pappy to bring that go-kart over here, and we'll put that all on there tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah." So I did. And, you know, I was ripping around that neighborhood like a crazy old, you know, like a little goofball. And I mean, it was like slapped together with all kinds of random crap. I made my seat out of an old plank of wood that was off of somebody's steps. So I mean, hitting any bumps at all, like you felt that, like, dude, throughout your whole body. Like there was nothing comfortable about it, but it was just like you're willing to deal with it, cause yeah, I get a go-kart. So one day after school, I got this one kid over my house because he wanted to come see the go-kart and wanted to ride around on it. And we were riding around the neighborhood a bit. And we kept playing and playing and playing until it was definitely well past time he needed to get home. So instead of him walking back over to his neighborhood, I was like, "Dude, hop on. I'll just take you over there." He was kind of nervous about it. He was like, I don't know. We might get in trouble. I don't know. I'm like, "Man, just get on the go-kart." I pulled on out of that neighborhood. Man, I got like 50 feet maybe. Next car coming down the road was a cop car. He threw his lights on, and I'm like, "Oh crap, we actually might get in trouble." So I hit the gas. Now I'm going on up to Gary's neighborhood, and I'm like, "All right, when we get up here to the trail that goes up to your house, just get off and run." Gary starts bawling. Like, no. I'm like, "Come on, man, just get off." And I pulled over, I stopped. Gary's fat ass wouldn't get off the go-kart. And I'm like, go! So I start trying to roll him off the go-kart. He's bawling his eyes out. Friggin' cop gets out, walks around the front. I'm sitting there still trying to shove Gary off the friggin' go-kart, but my little skinny butt wasn't moving his big butt. He finally rolls off the go-kart into the grass, and I'm sitting there like, I hit the gas. The cop puts his foot on the front of the go-kart. He was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Oh, crap. Sorry, sir." It's like, "Get the hell off that thing." I was like, "Yes, sir." So he puts me in the back of his cop car. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm going to hear it now. He calls my mom. And like, I'm in the back of the cop car. I can hear the ladies in my mom's office. Every one of them starts friggin' laughing and howling. And because they knew if a cop was calling, it had to be about me and Sean, you know. They get my mom on the phone, and the cop's like, "Hello, Mrs. Bailey. I've got your son here. He's trying to outrun me on a go-kart." And she was like, "You can't be talking about my sons. They're only 6 and one's 8. He was like, "Yes, ma'am. I believe I have a 6-year-old. And I'm like sitting back there like, oh, she's gonna kill me. Oh, she's gonna kill me. Oh, she's gonna kill me. Meanwhile, a buddy of the family heard it over the radio. So he comes on down the road off of Route 40 onto Route 7, comes on down, and he pulls up, and he's got his tow truck with him. And he comes on up to the car, and he was like, "Sir, I'll take custody of the boy if you don't mind." And the cop's looking at him. He's like, "Miss Bailey, there's a tow truck driver here that's willing to take your son back home," and he confirmed that they know each other and that he's a friend of the family. So my buddy Mike, still a buddy of mine to this day. So the cop lets me out of the back of the car, makes me go sit up in front of the tow truck. Mike and the cop throw the go-kart up on the back of the tow truck, and the cop finally leaves. Once the cop's good and out of sight, Mike's like, "Get the hell out of my truck." He grabs a hold of that go-kart, yanks it down off of the back of there. He's like, "Get your little ass on there." He started it up. He was like, "Now don't come back out here on this road again." It's like, "All right, Mike." And I was gone. So, yeah, that's just one of them little things. Like, I made that first go-kart. After that got taken away for a while. So, that's all right. I turned right around and made a little mini bike. Had that thing done in about, I don't know, a couple months, you know. And then Mom started hearing about that thing from some of the neighbors. Mom ended up coming to me at one point and she was like, "Scott." And man, once you heard that tone, you knew she knew something. It was like, "Oh crap, I'm in trouble again. What the hell does she know about?" She was like, "I know you haven't been driving that go-kart. So what have you been doing?" And I'm like, how do I answer this without incriminating myself on something that she don't know about? Well, apparently one of the kids up the street was getting jealous of the fact that I had a little mini bike and he wanted to ride it, and he kept pestering his mom to the point where his mom finally called my mom and wanted to know, like, if he could come over and ride it. Man. So, it got not taken away from me, but I wasn't allowed to ride my mini bike anymore until I let every kid in the neighborhood ride it for a day. Okay, I agreed to it because I had no choice. First kid over there was this little kid named Davey. He gets on it, and like, he's just going, yeah. His mom was out there, his dad was out there, my parents were out there, going, "Okay, now this is how this works, and this is how this works." And he's like, yeah. They finally let him go. He just whiskey throttles it, man. He just floors it. Bike goes right out from underneath him, but he's still hanging on to it. So he's like Superman in the bike, laying down on the seat, and he goes straight into the fence. Nobody else in the neighborhood's parents would allow him on that bike after that. You know, I was just like sitting there like, did everything just work out in my favor? Yeah! Yeah, I got a million of those stories. Anyway, this was supposed to be us going on about the truck. I just kind of like veered off into left field on you guys. I'm sorry about that, but since we're almost at we are at a half hour, I'm going to call this one that. Love you guys, and
Later.
later.